Guys, we are so back. Oh my god, they just dropped the greatest free-to-play unit ever in the entire history of Fae. Like, Marnie, Legacy Medius, that other Fallen Grima on the quote-unquote secondary Fallen banner we got this year. All of them, get the hell out of here. This is Gromell, man. Mr. Stone Thrower himself. So, it's not even an exaggeration to say that he's better than the entire banner. I think for sure he's better than Stefan. I think he's actually even better than Elincia as well, the duo Elincia. He might even be better than Sharena too, honestly. Like, I don't think people realize how insane this unit actually is. So, why don't we go ahead and break him down, and we'll go ahead and check out some builds as well. So, starting things off with his stat line here, we've got 42 HP. We got 47 attack, we got 30 speed, 49 defense with a super boon, and then 32 res. Gives him an overall BST of 200, and yes, if you were wondering, that is arena viable, meaning you will be seeing this guy damn near as often or even more often than Marnie. So check it out. This is our fill-in for Gromell because the score calculator hasn't added him in yet. So, Aided Dagger scores in the same bin. They both have the same BST of 200, and then they both have a preference weapon. So, 766, get the hell out of here, Cyril. Get your stupid ass out, man. So happy to finally see this guy bite the dust. Technically, Gromell is a range unit in disguise as a melee unit. So, you don't have to rely on Cyril as your one and only ranged option for arena anymore. Panette score ties with Panette. And he is so much better than Panette that it's ridiculous. So, yeah, Panette can bite the dust as well. And then finally, we have Marnie, who, I mean, she still fills a different role, and she does score a little higher. 2 points higher, not really the craziest, but still, it does matter. And her being an armored save unit is a completely different role than what Gromell is doing, being just like a flying offensive threat. So, you can still run both of them. It just sucks, though, that all of them happen to be axes. Like, Panette, Marnie, and Gromell are all axe-type units. So, yeah, that is a bit of a bummer. But it is what it is. They just all... Every single time, it feels like, we get a crazy Grand Hero Battle or Tempest unit, it's always got to be a green color. So, alright, whatever. Moving on. Now, this is his weapon, and as you can see here, they did not hold back at all. His weapon has basically the same amount of text as a legitimate banner 5-star weapon. So let's take a look at this booklet that he's got here called Bolt Axe. So defense up 3, has adaptive damage, and then has distant counter all built right in. At the start of turns 1 to 3, deals 10 damage to foes and allies in 3 columns centered on unit, excluding unit. Now, there is a couple of maps, particularly in Arena, where units do not spawn directly above you. Sometimes they'll spawn on the right-hand corner while you spawn on the left-hand corner. You know which maps I'm talking about. The ones in Arena where, like, instead of going up and down, you're going left and right. So, in those instances, you're not going to be able to abuse the free damage there, which can suck, but it would have been nice if it was 3 columns and 3 rows centered on unit, but that would have probably been asking a little bit too much. He's already insanely built to the teeth here. So he's got that. So essentially this equates to 30 free damage if you wait 3 turns to just chip away at the enemies. Then also for foes in 3 rows of 3 columns centered on unit, he's inflicting attack and defense -5. And then foes suffer +X damage. So he's giving drive, crux, bonus damage, where X is the greater of the total damage dealt to the foe or the total damage dealt to the foe's target at the start of combat. Now, you may be thinking, oh, the enemies can negate that if they just run on guard with Medius, right? Like Legacy Medius or Mythic Medius or whoever. If we're talking about Aether Raid's defense and they've got them on the team, doesn't even matter because your ally can have the damage as well and they're going to get the true damage there. So, an ally enters combat, they've taken 30 damage from Gromell chipping away at their own health, and then they just enter combat and they're good to go. Like, that's just 30 free damage right there. So, insane amounts of support here. And I've heard people wondering if this procs with AoE specials. Like, let's say you're running, I don't know, who's a good AoE unit? I guess we'll throw Brave Felix out there. He's not really top of the line. AoE unit anymore, but he is still, like, a possible AoE option. So let's say you've got Brave Felix. He's got Gromell on the team giving him support, and you're running Blazing Wind on Felix. After he procs Blazing Wind, will his in-combat damage be augmented by the Crux support of Gromell? Not really sure yet. I mean, it's hard to tell exactly when the damage is going to kick in. Like, if it's as soon as you enter combat, or is it before everything starts? Like, once you choose your enemy to attack, before the AoE goes off, it's hard to say. But after we test him, after we get him in-game tomorrow, we'll be able to figure that out. And then also the foes suffer guaranteed follow-up, so it's a full-on Crux skill at that point. They take the stat drops, they take true damage, and then they take guaranteed follow-ups. Goated. Just insane amount of support. Then also, at the start of combat, if his HP is over 25%, then he inflicts a penalty on the foe's attack and defense, equal to 20% of their defense at the start of combat. Or 20% of his defense at the start of combat. Deals damage equal to 20% of his defense, including on AoEs. That's nuts. They don't give that out often. True damage augmentation on AoEs. So that's really good that he has that. And then he also reduces damage from foes' attacks by 20% of defense. Not on the AoE, unfortunately, but, I mean, there's not really a lot of AoE units running around right now. So now we get to this. He has a style as well. He has the 2-range style. It's the same one that Uma Musume Lin gives out as her start turn bonus. You could have just looked at these paragraphs right here, and he's already like a must-build free-to-play unit. The fact that they gave him range style as well as an arena option, meaning arena characters that people run in arena are not whale units. Like, we're running units that are free-to-play, like Marnie, Panette, the New Year Kana, like units like that. Units we can actually get our hands on and plus 10. Not that we got to break the bank and drop like 3 grand to plus 10. So the fact that he is able to be arena viable with a range style too is just so crazy. And the icing on the cake, of course, is that he is a flying melee type. So you already know what that means. We're giving homeboy air superiority. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the builds. I'm not even going to waste time comparing his stats to any other contemporary unit. There's just completely no point. No one is even remotely as good as this guy with his weapon. Okay, so here is the first build. This one should work out pretty good in Arena, and also not too shabby in Aether Raids, too, if you want to run him there. So, Arc Rival, we have, of course, with the Erica Ring, which, if you're going to run Air Superiority, it comes with the Celica Ring, and it also comes with Pass built in. So, like, you don't need to give him Celica Ring. You could give him Sigurd Ring, but he has a free access Echo skill that gives him pretty much Kanto right there, Kanto Distant, which is fine. So, I would recommend the Erica Ring just to let him Brave Attack, although he has a pretty good amount of rings that could work. Celica Ring, obviously, if you're not running Air Superiority. Sigurd Ring can be pretty solid if you're not running Kanto on any of his passives. Marth Ring can be okay, too, because he doesn't have -1 special trigger, and it could be tricky getting him into his specials. Micaiah Ring is pretty good if you want to just have healing support and artificially extend reach by moving first, popping an assist, and then getting to move again. And the Corrin Ring, of course, if you want to set up terrain, but personally, I don't think he would be the unit you would want to give the Corrin Ring to, so that would just be my take on that. But yeah, we have the Brave Attacking with Arc Rival. Now, Arc Rival is going to be a little inconsistent in terms of the special ramp and the scowl effect, because you're not really going to be sure if you're going to have color advantage, but regardless of that, it's still doing 70% bonus damage based on your attack or the enemy's attack, whichever is better. And you still inflict guard, and you still get the non-pierceable DR. So, for the most part, Arc Rival is just going to be his best special. Trample gives us access to Desperation, which is pretty dirty. Air Superiority, of course, giving us Warping with Pass. Then it also gives us Potent. So you combine Potent with the Brave from Erica Ring and then Desperation from Trample. And it's a really dirty combination. And then Deadly Miasma because we can reset Corrin tiles. So here's what's going to happen. If you're playing him in Arena and the opponents have the Corrin Ring on a unit, in 2 spaces in front of them, they're going to put up an Ice tile. And then in the space directly in front of them, they're going to put up a Divine Vein green tile, which Gromell can completely bypass with air superiority. So he's going to warp into the green tile. He's going to attack the foe, hopefully kill him, and then he's going to reset the tiles to Deadly Miasma, and then he will be able to Kanto himself to safety with Tumultuous Echo. So pretty much the bread and butter hit and run arena unit right here. And there's not going to be many arena threats that are going to tank him unless they have like color advantage or their name is Burger King or something like that. Because first of all, Hardy Bearing, which is the common counter to Potent and Brave combo, it's not a high scoring seal, so people rarely run that in arena. And then on top of that, like, just being able to hit and run, he can warp in with the air superiority with the 5-space reach, and then he hits from 2 with his style. So he could even reach further back into enemy lines. It's crazy, man. This guy, like, the passives that we have right now for him are just so perfect to the play style that he's trying to play up to. So that's our first build there. This one's more of a damage-dealing build, more so than, like, just a hit-and-run play style of build here. So again, we're going for the Arc Rival with Erica Ring there. Blue Skies gives us some true damage and true damage reduction. So this will let us hit harder than if we were running Trample, and this will probably be preferable if you're expecting to face opponents that have Hardy Bearing. So we got that there. Assault Impetus, which is not really significantly better than Momentum. If you only have access to Momentum, that's perfectly fine. But Assault Impetus, I think, is probably going to be a little more consistent. They have the same cooldown reduction effect, which is very good for this guy because Arc Rival is a full 5-hit cooldown on his weapon. But yeah, Assault Impetus, as long as you move 3 or more spaces, you're going to be able to get some cooldown ramping right there. And then it also gives you bonus 20% damage based on the higher of your speed or defense, which his defense is very good. And then it's also going to cut the enemy's DR in half. So yeah, pretty good. You might get more true damage out of Momentum if you were to run that, because it gives you, 4 times the number of spaces moved with a max of 20. He would only be able to move 4 spaces max. I don't think there's a way for him to move 5 spaces, unless somehow you were able to get, like, Gallop on him somehow. But I don't think you're able to do that. So, yeah, for the most part, Assault Impetus probably better. Attack Speed, Rain Snap, very good support for Arena, just getting, like, +1 movement on your melee and armored units in there. And then also, it gives him the ability to use the 3 reach with Assault Impetus. So you would be running this more so on a baity style of team, like where you want the arena enemies to come to you. Let's say you've got Marnie on the team protecting everyone with save, and then you just want Gromell to waltz right in and blast them in the face and then get out of the way. So this would be more so like a wait style of tactic, more so than like hit and run. And then finally, we got a Galeforce Mist build. So yeah, Galeforce Mist works on him pretty well. It sucks that he doesn't have -1 special trigger for this special in particular, but doesn't really matter all that much. Yes, we are running Heavy Blade, unironically. It's the only way to get a lot of cooldown support on him. You could run Odd Defense Wave as well on him. It works pretty good. It gives him tempo, so your Heavy Blade is not going to be negated, and you just, like, easily get to your Galeforce Mist. And then with Air Superiority giving Potent, and then Erica Ring with the Brave attack, we hit 5 times, and we are very likely to proc our Galeforce there. So, yeah, this would be an alternate option if you want him to just have more actions than 1. But I would say I'd probably lean more towards this build here if I'm playing in Arena, just for the Corrin Ring middle finger that you can give to that. Or this one if you want to go for more DPS. So, there you guys go. That is Gromell, the greatest character of all time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below, and I will catch y'all again on the flip side.